Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the new series. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. Today we are going to discuss how the Election Commission has come up with a proposal to include migrant workers in the voting process. As migrants move from one place to another in search of opportunities, they tend to stay out of the entire process. So we are going to discuss that only. From the perspective of GS Mains Paper 2nd, it is important that we understand the analytical portion. From the perspective of prelims, it is important we understand the factual as well as the analytical portion. Let us move ahead and look at all these proper segments, proper points to be discussed in this segment. As I move forward, this is the news piece. We have sourced our material from the Hindu and other authentic sites as well. Moving ahead, first of all, let us know about the background. On December 28th, the Election Commission said that it is ready to pilot remote voting for domestic migrants. As we know that in the upcoming years, we are going to have our assembly elections as well as the general elections, the Lok Sabha elections. It is important that we increase the fold of the current stagnant, I must say, voters number. Now, the newly devised remote electronic voting machine is the hero of the entire process. The Election Commission will demonstrate an RVM prototype to political parties on January 16th, and it will ask about the feedback by January 31st, I guess. Moving ahead, if we have to discuss electronic voting machine, first of all, let's remember that for our examination point of view, certain facts are important. Electronic voting is the standard means of conducting elections using electronic voting machines in India. It was developed and tested by state-owned Electronics Corporation of India and Bharat Electronics of India in the 1990s. It was introduced in the Indian elections between 1998 and 2001 in a phased manner. Okay, and if you could think of any other important fact, you can comment in the comment segment. Now, if we talk about remote EVMs, by the name of remote, we can understand that it is related to migrant laborers. It can handle multiple constituencies from a single remote polling booth. There will be a polling booth because different migrants belong to different regions. So, it can handle the voting for different constituencies from a single booth. It will implement voter portability as a pilot project in the upcoming assembly elections in 9 states in 2023 and then in 2024 general elections, alright, which is set to happen, of course, in the next year. What is the need of it? Why we are trying to include migrant laborers in the process? Because first of all, there is an absence of central database for migrants. India is a country which has not developed up to a level where regional development in the entire country is uniform. So migrants move from here to there. So we have a lack. This is a challenge, we can say. There is not a central database of migrants. So first of all, we do not know exactly how much have to be in the fold. But Election Commission said that migration-based disenfranchisement is indeed not an option in the current scenario in which India and the world is becoming technologically superior. Earlier, it could have been possible that the case of migrant laborers when it comes to voting did not get heard. But if we talk about the current situation, we are technologically and we also have proper resources to get them back into the fold. So why not try that? Now we have the data from the 2011 census in which it is said that 45.36 crore Indians were internal migrants. They were settling internally, domestically, and that is 37% of the population. We also are seeing that since the last many years, even if we talk about the Lok Sabha elections or the general elections, there is a stagnating electoral participation. People are not exercising their voting power because, first of all, there could be enormous reasons. But also, we have to ensure that migrant laborers who would want to participate, but because of the absence of any system, they are not being able to participate. So, in order to check the stagnating electoral participation, it is being done. 67.4% of the eligible 91.2 crore Indians voted in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, and about one-third or close to 30 crore voters did not cast their vote. So this is a thing of concern. Now, the Election Commission has proposed certain things. It says, first of all, the background to the proposal is the 2015 order on a plea which sought voting opportunities for domestic migrants. Then, the Supreme Court directed the Election Commission to explore remote voting options, in which proxy voting, postal ballots, internet voting and early voting were also suggested. But due to one thing or the other, they were taken down. Now the current one is of course the remote EVMs, which can handle up to 72 constituencies. So the voter will have to register online or offline for a remote voting procedure or facility, and that has to be done within a pre-notified time. A range of time will be provided, and that will be with the concerned returning officer of their home constituency. Then, once the voter is verified and marked eligible for remote voting, a multi-constituency remote polling station will be set up in the area of the current residence. Okay, so that current residence could be anywhere, but the returning officer with which the person will register himself or herself or themselves, they will be belonging to they will do so for their home constituency. Now, the person could belong to Banda, the person could belong to Pilibhit or anywhere else, but if they are not in their home residence city, they can move to they have moved to other constituency for work, they can vote there as well with the help of this remote EMV. Now, the RVMs will have the same security system and voting experience as EVMs. Now, that will of course come with a modification. That modification will be of an electronic ballot display with candidates and symbols instead of a fixed ballot paper sheet. This is one of the modifications. Now, when the voter scans his or her constituency card in the presence of the presiding officer in the station, their respective constituency and candidate list will appear on the RVM display. Remember that. Now, as for counting the votes, the electronic system will also count and store the votes for each candidate in a constituency for better classification. So, this will give ease of classification as well. There are certain challenges to the entire issue. First of all, how will we define migrants? If there is not a clear-cut definition, the cases will run into courts, because the definition, if it is open-ended, it will be challenged so that loopholes can be exploited. Then what will be the procedure of model code of conduct? Because it can happen, a place might not be having assembly elections, other might be having an assembly elections. So, if suppose UP is having elections but MP is not, the migrant labor is from UP, they have moved to MP, now they want to vote from their residence, from the current residence, that is MP. How will the model code of conduct for assembly elections in UP will be provided for Madhya Pradesh? That is also a problem. How will we ensure securing of voting? Because if it is moving, RVMs are moving from place to place, what about the tinkering of it? Then facility of polling agents for identification of voters, process and method for remote voting, and also counting of votes. These are all such problems. There are also other challenges such as First Amendment to legacy laws, the Representation of People's Act 1950-1951, the Conduct of Election Rules 1960, and the Registration of Voters or Registration of Electors Rule 1961. All these will have to be amended. There is also, as I said, vagueness over migration. Who are the migrants? How we are going to define them? What is home constituency? What is current residence? All will have to be surely defined in such a way that it is not open-ended. There is also the territorial constituency concept. In this concept, what the person represents as a constituency will also run into any sort of issue, every sort of issue, if territorial constituency is not defined properly. Administrative challenges are other things. Other than that, acceptance issues are also there. And administrative challenges can range from manpower management, polling booth management, management by law and order. There should not be any sort of disruption in the entire process. All this will also pose a challenge. There is also an acceptance issue in the sense that, first of all, the EMVs right now are not fully accepted. Every now and then we can see cases which are imposed by one party on the other if they think that there has been a tinkering in EMVs. So how will the current system be accepted by the opposition? That will also be a challenge. Way forward is that first of all, as it is a pilot project right now, first trial and error method should be employed in order to understand the shortcomings of the current system, the remote EMVs. But we should also understand that migrant laborers do a lot for this country, be it infrastructure building, be it the development of the economy, keep the economy running. Everything matters, and their say is one of the most important say in a democracy like India. So of course they should not be left out merely because they were searching for livelihoods. They should also be politically and socially empowered. Alright, so now let me take the names of those who have answered the last question correctly. The last question was, yes, DPSP. Which one wasn't? So option D is the correct answer. Rupal, Shweta, Puneet, Kamal, Naveenism, Rahul, Divya, Sai Teja, Akhil, Simran. Anuj, Shubham has answered both the questions that I asked. Very good. Then Ankita, Priyanka, very good. Srinivas, very good. Pallavi, Sagarika, very good. Shirley, Bhargavi, very good. Then Anshika, Tushita, Mukesh, Shelly, Anushri, Vikas, Megha, Pramit, Ruxana and Divya. And there is one comment from Srinivas about the pandemic, that how India has achieved the great relationship with other nations in terms of vaccine diplomacy. Okay, so if in case any such news comes along, I will try to cover it. We will try to cover it for you. Okay, don't worry about that. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching and stay updated.